Hi folks, it's Coach Kelvin here from the We Run Virtual Run Club and We Run Coach for Leeds and surrounding areas, as well as online coaching. In this little video, I'm going to talk about A races, B races and experimental races. And I'd just like to explain first what I mean by that. So an A race is something that we turn up to well trained for and hope to have a good race, maybe even a PB, sort of a personal best. B races are almost like a softer version of an A race. So it's about sort of practicing consistent paces and almost kind of getting things right. It might be someone's training for a marathon and they have a B race half marathon and they run the half marathon at marathon goal pace and just kind of practice fueling at that pace. And the other thing is experimental races. And experimental races, and it can be experimental workouts as well, we'll come to that in a bit, where pretty much anything goes. And I did a race on Saturday, Ultra Trail Snowdonia 50k, and it was an experimental race. There was only my wife Becky knew it was an experimental race, so she found that quite amusing because she knew what was going to happen. And the plan was to split the first 30 kilometres to checkpoint 2 way too fast, literally with the expectation of blowing up and things going wrong, seeing what went wrong and like figuring out how to deal with those things. So in other words, intentionally having quite a bad second half to the race to expose any weaknesses and things that I need to work on during the summer. And some people might think this is an absolutely crazy idea, but it doesn't have to be done on a race. It can be done on a workout as well. And I certainly wouldn't recommend this if you have, if a runner has any sort of niggles or injuries. But it can certainly be a useful thing to do, and particularly to do it on a workout. You don't necessarily have to do it on a race like I did, but I wanted it to be race specific. So when they called everyone to the starting line and Becky said, "Come on, let's go," and I'm like, "We're a bit too near the front. The pace is going to be way too quick." She just laughed because she knew that's exactly what I planned to do. So I just kind of set off way too fast, but I wanted it to be in that race environment, knowing where to start in the race and how to go through the aid stations a little bit quick. And it certainly exposed some things that I need to consider and I need to work on throughout the summer. So those things are not really what this video is about. It's just about experimental races. And we can do this in workouts too. And an example workout would be to, particularly for someone who's training for longer runs, maybe marathons, and definitely for ultras. For ultras, I would absolutely recommend this. And that's to push intentionally too hard at the start of a longer run. So maybe the first half of a longer run, you push too hard where it's a pace where you're not going to be able to complete the workout, and then just dealing with what comes up. And it sounds harsh, but it's really good preparation, both physically and mentally. And if we always execute every single workout kind of perfectly, it becomes really difficult then in a race if things don't go so well. And we have to kind of adjust things. It helps us to be able to sort of think on our feet a little bit. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. It's not quite as crazy as it sounds. And if you have any questions, please just pop them in the comments below. And for now, happy running.